Hello everyone, welcome to Partha's course. So today's session will be moving towards to the concept of your data frame. So in a previous day, we already worked with the series, the functionality. So we'll continue with the data frame functionality, means your 2D array functionality. So let's start with the importing first. So we are just going with import numpy as np, as well as we just want to import pandas as PD. My importing is done. So let's move to that to creation of your dictionary. So we'll go with var or any data. So var equals to, now we are creating the dictionary. As you know, whenever we create a dictionary or so now we are going to create a data frame. So whenever we want to create a data frame, we'll go with the variable name and the curly braces, because inside the curly braces only we are creating. So I just go with some name first, name. We are going with here the name and name, and then colon inside the brackets we have to giving some name. So I'm giving here ABC one name, and continue with, suppose just go with comma and then XYZ, and then we are giving comma, we are giving one more name, that is, suppose I'm giving Ram, yeah, and you can continue with giving one more name, SITA, yeah. So we just created one, then comma. Now we need, suppose the name is done, so we are giving the marks now, mark as marks of the subject. So we'll go with that, and here we are just giving the marks, suppose 50, and then comma, then 70, then comma 90, then comma we created with some 56. So we created with this. So this is done. Our variables are declared. We used it. So we can run this. It's run properly. Now the main thing comes to the data frame to create. So we are going with the data where we store this data frame. Data equals to PD dot data frame. D will be capital and F will be capital. So remember that, don't do mistake on the things because it's a case sensitive. And then the pass the values, whatever we done it. So we done the pass the values. Let's print and see that is it work already created or not. So pass the data. You can observe that our name and marks is created properly. So this is how we have to create the things. Now the first one things we call as transpose, that is written the transpose of your data frames. We are creating that to use it. So this is the first one functionality. We'll be working on that, how we are using the functionality. So we already printed. Now just moving to print inside that data dot capital T. This is for your transpose, to use that to transpose the data. Just run. You can observe that it will be in a this way. Name and marks means rows and column will be changed. So this is the one method where we can change the rows and columns, which is we are not doing in a series, because series has only the 1D. When we are having a 2D or n-dimensional, when moving to the your panel, if you remember in a previous session we learned about the panel where we use 3D. So that time you can use this transpose functionality to change it the rows and column. So this is how the first method, first functionality we use it. Let's see that what will be the excess, what we done in the same thing we are doing in already in a series. So same functionality we are going with the first excess. So print, then you, so print dot access axes, when you run, you will get the access value, that is start 0, stop 4, step 1, index your name and marks, and d type is object. Let's go with the empty, because it's not empty, so it will be showing you the same thing. It will be show that directly it's not empty. So let's go with this print, then go with data dot empty, empty, empty. So when you run this particular, it shows false because our things are there. Now the next thing, what dimensional? We have to see that. So print and then go with data dot nd, that is nothing but your dimensional, to check that, and dim. So when you go with that, it gives 2. So when you use data frames, that time it means we created 2 dimensional, so it gives 2. Now let's see some more the size. If you want to see the size, so print then your data dot your size. whatever the size are there. So when you see 8, size is 8, the things what you have, the total number of elements in there, the 8. So that will giving you the size. Now the values, whatever the values are present, I want to go with that values. So print data dot values, where we can observe that the values whatever we have already inside that. Now we are having head tell method as well. Before that we are having two more functionality here, what we cannot do it in your normally when we use a series. The first one is d types. We have to check the d types also for the all, because it has a different d types, right? So just go and check the d types, what is the data types we used it here. So print your data dot d types. Yeah, it will be dot operator here, and d types, when you used it, it shows that name object, your marks object, because whatever we are going with the object, because if you observe here we are putting in a double quotes. So do one thing, when you change it in an integer, I need to go that, because I don't want in a object wise, I just want to see in an integer wise. You can just remove this particular double quotes, just remove this double quotes. So the last one, we just remove this double quotes. Yeah, we run this. Now we are moving to run this particular area. So now you can observe it will be like whenever we use this particular, so and just run this first, then you have to run this as well and this. So we already put it in our data frame. So let's see the objects now. Yeah, now you can observe it's changed to int64. So it will be giving you the different things whenever we used it, different things. And we already checked with the access, ending, size, values. Now the next method or functionality, it's for your shape. If you want to check that what how the shape will be and what is the shape of the object, because here we are using 2D. So we just check this shape as well. So print data dot shape. So when we use it, it will be giving you 4 into 2, because how many values you put it. So in that way, it will be showing the things in that. Now let's go in with the head to check head and tell methods here as well. So data dot head, and just going with the first head. Normally, if you observe it, it gives the starting things, because we have only 4, so there is no option to give 5, because only in a database we have this. So suppose I need it here only the one value, so when I put the head 1, it gives this. The same way when you go with print data dot tell methods, so it will be going with the methods. Head and tell method will be taking as a parameter wise. It will also give the same, because we have only this one, right? 5 values, we have only 4 values. Now suppose I'm taking this one and just paste it here, and I'm giving here some values as well to 6 we don't have, just 2. So then it gives the 2 and 3. So this is how we are using the data frames with some functionality with head, tell method, shape, d types, value, size, dimensional to check the empty or not, access. So this is what our data frames functionalities, basics functionality used in our pandas.